Today we got a very special guest by the name of Coach Strong. Now we did this interview prior to him getting this great position that he's in currently, and we want him to just share a little bit of information about how this came about.
Man, yeah, thank you for having me back. I've accepted the opportunity for position as the running back coach at Southeastern University. Coaching at the college level has always been a goal of mine since I started coaching football back in 2008. And, just through a lot of hard work, producing results, producing with players, networking with coaches, and I'm just seeing my grind and my passion. I've been awarded this position. And it's something I couldn't do without, Polk County community, the opportunities at all of the schools that I've been through. I definitely wish all of the schools the best, that I've touched bases with. I continue to want to come back and recruit and uplift this community. But, it's just one of those things that happen by the grace of God, through networking and hard work.
This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new day to try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football. We are life in football.
You are now listening to the Life in Football podcast. Check out the new website, lifeinfootball.com.
Welcome to the Life in Football podcast, baby. I'm your host, Mike Fee.
And this your coach, Colin Moore. We loving life and enjoying football.
Top-notch coaches all around the world. Top-notch coaches all around the world. Today we got Coach Kenny Strong on. He the head coach for Kathleen. Now, one thing y'all got to know, he got them dogs over there, but this a coach who going to lead them to the promised land. And what I love about it, man, when I spoke with him earlier, he told me, I thought it was a running back. When I was looking, he straightened me off tall. He said, no, man, I played DB. Yeah. And that show you what type of person he is. You know them DBs, they be trying to be kind of arrogant and cocky. But that's all a part of playing ball. I hear some people, sometimes they be talking about Dion and stuff, his antics. I actually like it sometimes, well, some of the time. But, that's all a part of ball, really. Even though he a coach now. And, you got a coach here who's doing some great things in the community. Kathleen on the ride. And he out here trying to make things happen, not just for his guys on his team, but for everybody in the community. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let C-Mo bring him on.
How you doing, Coach?
All is well, man. How y'all doing?
Good, man. It's a blessing to have you on.
Yeah, blessing to be here. Appreciate you, man.
Now, I love what you're doing. And what made me feel even better about it, man, you so young handling business.
Yes,
and you the head. Man, the only time that ever happened to me that I actually knew, we was even younger then, when Brett Biggs was the head coach at Bartow. That's
Bartow,
my boy.
Yeah,
but
I worked with Biggs.
So for you to be young, holding it down, man, that's exciting, man, just to do what you do and run your call. And how did you actually get to that?
It started, I went to FAMU out of high school. I was there from 2004 to 2008, studying physical education. And my senior year, my last semester, I started interning and teaching. And while I was interning, I was at Gadsden, Gadsden High School, West Gadsden High School. Yeah, I know coach here from Gadsden. Yeah, but I was at West Gadsden Middle School and High School, and I started coaching football there. I was the running back coach and defensive back coach there in 2008. From there, it was something that I loved. I got into from there. I spent 3 years there coaching running backs and defensive backs. I ended up moving down to the LaBelle area, Hendry County near Clewiston. I was the defensive coordinator down there for a year. And then I got hired by Brett Biggs at Bartow. So I got back in Polk County in 2012. Spent 2 years at Bartow. Moved over to Lake Gibson High School, 3 years there. We went to the state championship 2016, lost to Carroll City. Right. Ended up going back over to Bartow as a defensive coordinator for 1 year. 2017, 2018, I was at Lakeland High, which is my alma mater. Won the state championship there. Then I went to Auburndale as the offensive coordinator in 2019, and from there I got the head coaching job at Kathleen.
Man,
right,
that's
2020.
Blessing.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Now, check this, Coach. I tell players all the time, man, y'all boys better check out PE. Like,
Yeah.
because everybody want to, go to the league or whatever, but when the real life hit, what job you gonna work? So who told you to get into physical education? Because that's the spot. Like, if you a
Yeah.
ball player, you don't know what you want to do, and you like kids, and you
Mhm.
like being outside, that's the spot. I tell every player, y'all better check in that. So who put you
Yeah.
on game about that so early?
I mean, what's funny, coach was talking about Dion, man. Dion was a broadcast journalism major, so Dion was my idol growing up. So I went to school actually for broadcast journalism, just off the strength of that. My ultimate goal, I wanted to be on ESPN as a sports anchor.
Right.
But I ain't like to write. I ain't realized, so much writing in journalism. So once I got on campus for a year, I changed my major. I decided, I wanted to be involved in athletics, and I said I wanted to get into coaching. So I'm like, man, what can I do that's gonna put me in coaching? And phys ed, a PE coach, I'm like, I could do education.
Right.
My parents are retired educators, so I grew up with a mom and dad that taught, and then ended up becoming principals as well as my grandmother. And so education was kind of in the blood, but I didn't want to be a principal. I wanted to coach. So I'm like, I'm a major in phys ed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
from there it kind of went. Yeah.
Now, Coach, I want you to go back when you were talking about, because you were talking about your mama, your grandma, your daddy, all them was teachers.
Yeah.
So how was it for you growing up? Just give us some background on yourself, like where you were born and raised, and how was it for you with parents who was teachers? Because I always be wondering that, like I had classmates whose parents were teachers.
Yeah.
And I always wonder how it was once they went home. It's crazy not because Simo and his wife teachers, but
We be on them.
I used to be kind of seeing that, cause matter of fact, not to stop the conversation, but Coach Willie Simmons, man, you hear Coach, his mama was a teacher.
Okay.
But how I saw her, cause she ain't play.
Yeah.
Cause you can kind of see it in him a little bit every now and then, like she ain't play at all.
Right.
So I want to know how it was for you.
Well, I mean, it's interesting on both sides. You see him at school because I actually I went to school that my mama was working at for a while, and then when I went to Lakeland High School, my father was assistant principal there for like my first 2 years, and then he ended up leaving. But I see him as a parent, but then everybody else see him as Mr. Strong or Mrs. Strong and coach and so on and so forth. My dad also did a lot of stuff in the community as far as coaching youth ball and whatnot. So I kind of just saw him wear a lot of hats. So for me, it taught me versatility. You got to be able to switch it up every now and then as well. So you can go from your professional mode, you can go from your laid back mode, you can go to your parent mode. And it was just a constant learning process. So, even when I wasn't in school, I was in school. I was always getting corrected by grandma. I was always being, held accountable for this, that, and the next. And so I appreciated it later on in life. I kind of thought it was tough early, but my parents was real cool. They was laid back in the house. A lot of my friends came over and they was able to see him in a different light, from what they knew him as. But then at the same time, it was good to get that crossover and that balance. So, yeah, I was born and raised in Lakeland, though, to answer your question. Started off going to Rochelle School of the Arts when it first opened, and then from there went to Lakeland High. So, yeah, that's how it was for me.
Okay. Now, Coach, what was your last season you played at FAMU?
I was at FAMU 2007. It would have been the last year.
So that was your last. See, that was my last year playing college ball too. Okay. I was reason why I bought that up, because I thought you had played with Leroy Van.
Okay, no, I know Leroy. I know who he is. I actually didn't play at FAMU. I went up there on an academic scholarship. Yeah, but I know Roosevelt Kaiser. That was the top names coming out of there. Yeah.
Boy, you bringing out some names now.
Yeah. Roosevelt Kaiser, that's my type man. We actually interned together when he came back from the Jaguars. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Roosevelt Kaiser. That's a legend right there.
Yeah. He's a phys ed major. That's one of my partners.
Now, Coach, I want you to talk a little bit about your program. Okay. What you got going on at Kathleen, and just kind of the things that you were trying to, get, pour into you guys.
Okay. Well, biggest thing is it's all about, creating an identity. Anybody that's from this area knows that Kathleen has a rich tradition. So, you try to instill that pride. One thing I always respected about Kathleen growing up is that they had a very prideful community. They had a very prideful group of players that, regardless of if things was going real well or not so well, they was very prideful to wear that K on their chest and, be a Red Devil, even down to their alumni. My father's a Kathleen alumni and his friends, and, they just love Kathleen. So that's one one thing that I always respected about the program. So, trying to instill that pride into the kids, trying to let them know that, you come from a very rich heritage, you come from, a prideful program, and to build that back into them. And then, disperse that to the community. With our kids, it's all about, again, relating to them, seeing a familiar face, showing them that you can reach your goals. You can use football as a tool to get to where you want to go, and create several avenues for you. So that's just one of the things that I try to instill along with my coaches. We teach through the game.
Yes, sir. Hey, that was Coach Strong, the head coach at Kathleen. And I'm telling y'all, man, if you want some good knowledge and somebody to help you make it, not just in the game of football, but in the game of life. I love how his parents were there for him, and especially as a man, when you got a father there who, showing you the ropes, cause mama can't show you everything, but at times when you get your daddy right there in your corner, certain things you might need assistance with, and he could put you on game on certain things as well, not just talking about no women or anything, but I'm talking about life.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
getting your house, getting your car, job, being successful in life, and not just looking at the money. Because a lot of time, a lot of folks they so caught up in money. Oh, I want this. When I'm gonna get this? When I'm gonna get? But the thing is, you can be successful just simply taking care of your kids, simply doing what you're supposed to do at your job, and a lot of time that'll grow and blossom into a bigger thing that you may not have saw or seen that when you first initially started your journey. So, Coach, I want to thank you again for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Y'all, that's Coach Strong doing that thing for Kathleen. And I'm going to leave y'all how I always leave y'all. Keep your head up and not down. I ask you to fall to the ground. It's the Life in Football podcast. Catch you next time.
Yes, sir.